The Castrol FloRacing Night in America put on another dandy with Ricky Thornton Jr. coming out on top with a late race pass with just over 1 lap to go to best Shannon Babb at Fairbury. What a race this was. There was racing the entire race. This was a fantastic show. I think it's definitely in the top 5 races we've seen so far this year, with the best of the best competing from both the World of Outlaws and the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, as well as people like Jason Fager coming in from the Mars Tour as well. This was just excellent racing throughout, with an excellent finish and a duel between Ricky Thornton Jr. and Shannon Babb. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So, really good, exciting race from the start. We had Miles Moose on the front row, Shannon Babb there in third, and Garrett Smith on the outside of that front row with Bobby Pierce right behind him. And let's just take a look at here what happens on this start. Some great racing here between Miles Moose and Shannon Babb. Shannon Babb with a fantastic start here, trying to challenge Miles Moose for the lead right away. Let's take a look. Look at that. Great start there. Just zips by Garrett Smith, zips by Miles Moose, gets that lead, and he would not really look back for the rest of the race until Ricky Thornton Jr. There was a really good battle here between him and Miles Moose here at the beginning. I think Moose would eventually take the lead back on lap 3, but Babb would get him back in a restart after some cautions. And we would have a couple cautions here. There was a caution on lap 7 for Max McLaughlin, and then immediately after that, we would have a caution on lap 8 due to a wreck involving Garrett Alberson, Carson Ferguson, Kay Lowdy, and potentially Mike Marlar. I'm not really sure. They didn't show a replay. Marlar did have some damage to the rear of his car, so it's unclear if he was actually involved in that accident or if he got that from maybe getting too close to the wall there. But there was a big pile up there. They got that sorted out. And then we would have some pretty good racing here with, I don't know, we're about 20 laps in. And this is probably where the racing was just really good. I mean, these guys were racing side by side for 10, 15 laps, but it really heated up here for second, where you had a 3-way battle here for second between Jason Fager, Garrett Smith, Ryan Gustin. This was just fantastic racing. Bobby Pierce would get in here. Bobby Pierce and Fager were trying to make that top side work, and it just wasn't working. They eventually both had to get down to the bottom. The bottom really was the groove to be in for this race. But if you were able to just move a little bit further out in like maybe a second lane through the middle, and that's where Ricky Thornton Jr. made it work, and you were able to kind of move it. Ryan Gustin finally was able to do that on Garrett Smith a little bit later. But let's just kind of take a look at some of this fantastic racing that we got to see here about halfway through the race. Like, this was just really, really good stuff. Fager obviously on the outside, Garrett Smith down there. That turn 1 and 2 was treacherous, and we'll get to that because Ricky Thornton Jr. almost flipped the car with less than 10 laps to go. But you can see here, these guys are all right on top of each other. Love this shot here inside the car from Jason Fager, where you can see Gustin down below. You can see Garrett Smith. You can almost see Bobby Pierce there as well. Really, really good shot here. And you can see these guys were like just getting on it. You can see Ricky Thornton Jr. already kind of there in 6th, coming into the picture here about halfway through this race. Just really, really good racing here. And we got to see this, like I said, 10, 15 laps. These guys were going at it. Eventually, here with 18 laps to go, we finally saw Ricky Thornton Jr. making some real moves here into the top 5. Gustin has already kind of made his move around Garrett Smith. We saw that kind of middle lane is where he was able to do that to get around him. Brian Shirley made the same move, and Ricky Thornton Jr. here would follow suit. And also kind of get a 2-for-1 here, would get Shirley as well. Let's take a look. So there you go on the right side there. Ricky Thornton Jr. gets around Garrett Smith, and now he's working on Brian Shirley. There you go. 2-for-1 in the same lap right there, or really close to the same lap. So there you go. He's already up to 3rd now, and he's still got 16 laps to go. But like really, really good racing here, having to maneuver around the lap cars and everything like that. And then this was a scary moment here. Like I said, you saw them kind of bouncing up there in turns 1 and 2. And Ricky Thornton Jr. almost flipped. Let's take a look at this here. He's already gotten around Gustin at this point. You can see how well they're racing. There you go. He's almost up and over. Really lost a lot of ground there to Bab. Wasn't sure if he was going to get it up. Gustin's breathing down his neck, but he would eventually recover. You can see there that Bab really pulled out there after he hit that hole and almost flipped the car. I mean, let's just go back and look at that. I mean, look at that. He's straight up in the air there. Look at that. Look how, I mean, he is just 2 wheels there. The car is almost perpendicular to the track. Just crazy. But let's look at it in real time here. So here they are racing coming out of turn 4. Look how close they are. They're almost side by side there coming out of the turn or in the turn. And then they're going in. Ricky drives in really deep, hits that hole. Entire car gets up. Almost looks like he is about to turn over. But he's able to save it and gets it down, gets it woe down. Bab gets away from him, but Ricky would be able to reel him back in here. This is coming up to the last lap. Gets him here going out of turn 4. Let's take a look here. This is the winning move right here. Bab on the outside. Again, Ricky driving through the middle. There's Miles Moose. He faded late there. But Ricky really able to work that middle line. The top just didn't have it. And Ricky's able to power through the backstretch. Almost makes a mistake there. Turns 3 and 4. Hits a hole. Bab looks like he might have something for him. But Ricky moves up the track. Takes the win. Gets the checkered flag. What a race. Fantastic finish. Great racing throughout. Again, I think this is probably one of the top 5 races we've seen all year, just because of just how competitive it was throughout the entire field there. Bab might have gotten out to a 2-second lead, but we were seeing fantastic racing there for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, even further back. We didn't even get to go really further back into the field because we're having such great racing for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Here is what the actual rundown is. Ricky Thornton Jr. was your hard charger. He won the race and was your hard charger. Started in 15th, plus 14, wins the race. Shannon Babb in 2nd. Ryan Gustin went up 7 spots, finished in 3rd, rounding out your podium. Bobby Pierce was able to rally for a 4th place finish after kind of losing a couple positions up there on the high side a little bit earlier in the race. Got back to the low side and started hustling and got to the 4th. Really didn't get to see what was going on there because he just wasn't on the camera because of the great racing that we were seeing for 2nd, 3rd, and then obviously eventually there towards the end for 1st between Bab and Ricky Thornton Jr. Great racing there. Brian Shirley settles for a 5th place finish, up 4 spots. Devin Moran in 6th. Tim McCready jumped 10 spots to 7th. Garrett Smith faded to 8th. Dalton Wilson in 9th. Jason Fager faded 5 spots to 10th. Dennis Erb Jr. went up 11 spots, finished in 11th. Kyle Bronson there in 12th. Cody Overton 13th. Tyler Bruning 14th. Cade Dillard 15th. Miles Moose faded back to 16th. Max McLaughlin, I think he started probably towards the rear. Jumped up 4 spots there. Yeah, it looks like he started in 21st. Finished in 17th. Had to race his way in through one of the B features. Spencer Hughes up 6 spots to 18th. Garrett Albertson in 19th. Mike Spatola down 12 spots to 20th. Mike Marlar finished in 21st. Nick Hoffman in 22nd. I don't think he finished the race. I think he parked it early. Carson Ferguson obviously was involved in that wreck, 23rd. And Cade Lowdy was involved in that wreck as well, rounding out your field in 24th. So that is how they finished. I believe they said on the broadcast there that Ricky Thornton Jr. has now re-inherited the lead in the Castrol FloRacing Night in America. And I love these Castrol FloRacing Nights in America. They go to some of the best tracks in the country. They're always putting on a show. We had Macon earlier this year. Fantastic race. Lots of drama there. Loved it. And I love what I'm seeing here at Fairbury. And I'm really excited as we move on into the weekend for the Prairie Dirt Classic. I think we're going to have some great racing. As much as that bottom lane was dominant, you could still move up to that middle lane. People were trying to work that outside lane. We had some really great racing. Lots of guys trying different lanes, trying different things. And it was a fantastic race. I loved what I saw. And congratulations to Ricky Thornton Jr. on the win. But let me know what you guys made of this race. Let me know in the comments below. Are you as hyped on it as me, or maybe not so much? Maybe you weren't as impressed as I was. But let me know in the comments below.